Welcome to our Savvy series. I'm Catherine Magana here with Rachel Ivanovich, and today we're going to discuss your purpose and goals. We thought as we're in the beginning of 2025, this is a good time to be really thinking about your future. And one of the things that we do, actually not just the beginning of the year, but throughout the year, we actually host a Savvy Woman Invest on Purpose workshop and a webinar where we really do some exercises and really think about your purpose. And it's important to have purpose, like why are you doing certain things in your life, or what's the purpose of your money? And so it's really the starting point, I think, with when you look at financial planning and retirement planning, is really taken the time and thought through why and what's the purpose of your money. And so if you are interested in talking to us a little bit about your purpose, or if you want to learn more about some of our workshops, you can reach us at 760-692-5700. Once again, we do in our workshop do a lot of different exercises and come together. It's a lot of fun, but definitely that's one of our key points that we do in that workshop.
It is a safe place for women to come together and to share and to be vulnerable. And one of the things I did in preparation for this podcast today was I looked up purpose because we talk about purpose a lot. So I was like, what's the actual definition of this word? Yeah. So I wrote, the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. So I thought that was really interesting, and because we do talk about purpose, what's my purpose, and or what's my why, and begin with the end in mind.
Yes, exactly, because that's the thing is sometimes we think like the now, like what am I doing now? But the reality is what are you trying to accomplish? Yeah, what is it? What's the goal from this? And so kind of tying into goals as we're in the beginning of the year and some goal setting, I know it's important to look at being intentional, looking at what are some goals. And a few areas that come up for goals are usually either personal, financial, relationship, professional, health, and spiritual. Those are kind of usually the 6 key areas that come up when you look at goals.
Well, people talk so much about work-life balance, and what's the key to work-life balance? But I think that breaking it down into those areas like you're talking about really is helpful, so that you can, maybe it's not the season for all of those areas right now, but you can pick one big one and say, okay, what's the one big area that I'm going to focus on, and have maybe smaller goals in the other areas, but to really think about, okay, where do I want to really focus this year? So for personal, if you were to kind of break down the different ones, for personal, it could be, is there a hobby or is there a skill or something that you want to learn for the year? So that's kind of something that you could think about, or is it traveling, or is it something that's really top of mind? And as I was kind of thinking about that personally, I was like, oh, well, I'd like to play a little more golf this year. And I know I love getting out there. I need to make the time. It's once again, it's that balance. So how many times a month are you going to play golf?
If I could play once a month, I'd be happy right now.
I think that's a good goal. I think it really is. We set these huge goals for ourselves, and it's
like every weekend. I'm like, that's not going to happen.
So okay, let's break it down. Like if you play once a month, I think that's a win.
That's a good goal.
Yes,
I think my husband would be happy if we played once a month too.
And your daughter too.
Yes, my daughter's into golf now, and
she's really good.
Yeah,
right?
She just played her first year of varsity golf this last year. And then another goal is financial goals. And so really looking at, what is it? Is there something, is it education planning? Is it retirement? Or is there a project? Is there something?
Save for a trip?
Yeah, is there a trip? Is there something that you specifically want to save for the year? And so for myself, as I was thinking about this, I was thinking I have twins that are 16, just turned 16, and they'll be going to college in a couple of years. And so that has been one of
exciting.
I know, it's like, oh man. So we've been saving since they were born.
Maybe you want to revise the personal goal. No, just kidding.
Right. And so then the financial. So one of the financial goals is we've been putting money away for college, and so that's something still a focus, at least for this next year, and then obviously getting them off and on their own.
I think it's important to mention too that writing your goals down, when you do so, you're more likely to achieve them. And there are some statistics that are out there. And what do we have? 42% of people who wrote down their goals, those people who wrote down their goals were 42% more likely to achieve them.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting. And then people who wrote down their goals and they achieved them, 72% of them achieved them when they actually made a plan and they told a friend that they were going to give them a weekly progress report.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because now it's not just I'm going to do this goal. It's now putting it into place.
So, for instance, my sister is starting a business and she's talking about her business goals and And I said, why don't you just make an easy goal and make a goal that's so easy that people will look at you and say, that's all I have to do to build my business. And I said, and then you have to call me or text me that you did that goal. And so, make one phone call a day.
It's having that
to
accountability. Yeah, and having that accountability.
Yeah, but it's easy and it's having the accountability. So she wrote it down. She said, every day I'll make one phone call to grow my business and I'll text you that I did it.
Oh, yeah.
So far, so good.
Yeah, no, it's like you said, having that accountability and somebody there to support you, I think.
Oh, because when she doesn't text me, I will text her and
go.
say, make your call.
So another area is our relationships. So it could be friends or family or colleagues. And so really kind of thinking, is that an area that needs a focus or not? For myself, my relationship goal would be, I have a mom that is going to be 88 years old this year in April. And so every day is a blessing. I just, I'm thankful she's still around and alive. And every time I see her, she's like, I'm still here. And so, but I know that there's only so much time, and hopefully she lives to 100, although she doesn't want to live to 100. But I just know, to me, that's a really important relationship right now too.
Yeah, and a lot of these areas kind of overlap. For instance, the personal and the financial and the relationship.
Yeah,
so, for instance, well, my son lives in Boston. He's in his 20s, and I really want to plan a trip to go out to see him. So that's a personal goal, but it's a relationship. But I also have to save the money and plan for the trip.
There you go. So it's kind of like all intertwined a little bit.
And he's been out there for almost 7 years now, and I keep saying, okay, I'm going to come visit you, but I need to write it down and get an accountability partner.
And then there's professional goals. So if, like you talked about your sister and having her, contacting somebody new every day, and so kind of thinking about if you have a business or if you don't own your own business, are there any skills or anything that you want to accomplish for the year? So kind of, thinking about where are you at and where do you see yourself at the end of the year? We do a lot of business planning. We did this back in November, December for this year, but it's never too late to start. And one of our goals is to grow our business by 15% this year. So it's a big goal, but that's
a big goal. We can do it.
But it's manageable. And
maybe it's a certification you want to get. Yeah. And so that's a professional goal, but it's also, personal. And it'll affect your finances if you get the certification, maybe make more money.
And make you more valuable for your clients.
Exactly.
Too. So, and then another goal could be health goals. So it could be exercising or releasing some pounds or whatever.
Drinking more water.
Yes, and just kind of, or walking. We heard from somebody this morning that was sharing that she wanted to talk about walking daily, but
I want to walk every day.
Yeah, we're like, wait, well, and then you were sharing.
Yeah, just get up, make it easy. Yeah. Just say, what, I'm not going to walk, 5 miles every day, but what if you just got up and walked around your house for 5 minutes to start, and that's your easy goal, and then after 30 days of doing that, say, okay, I'm going to walk around my block once today, and then after you've done that for 30 days, then say, maybe I can do a mile.
So just breaking it down a little bit.
Breaking it down instead of, being it's kind of the tortoise and the hare syndrome where you want to be a rabbit. You want to get out there and get after it. And I'm going to go run a marathon. And then after, 2 weeks, you are burned out. So let be the tortoise and set the smaller goals and just hit 30 days with the small goal and then move on.
That's because that becomes a habit, and then you start.
And then you do the medium goal for 30 days, and then you can do the guaranteed goal.
And then another area, lastly, would be spiritual. And so whether it be reading or meditating,
watching sunrise,
just different ways you can really tap into your spiritual side, and
journaling.
And from one of the things I was thinking about is even gratitude, or being thankful every day for something too. So there's different things and different goals, like you said, like at the beginning, where maybe you have all these different areas, but maybe you have a core area that you're thinking about and focusing on for the year. And so we incorporate, when we do financial planning, we look at a lot of financial goals, but your lifestyle and all these does tie in together, and really starting with your purpose and then figuring out your goals.
And realizing that life has seasons. So you may have some sort of, health challenges right now. So maybe that's where you're really focusing your area to get healthy. Or maybe you, like you said, your mom is getting older, and maybe you're focusing more on, and your twins are going off to college.
I know,
in a couple years.
Double whammy here.
Yeah. So it's they say comparison is the thief of joy. So really just focus on what's most important for you and your life, and set those goals in the areas that mean the most for you.
And so once again, if you'd like to speak with us, we'd love to set up a complimentary call or a session with us. And you can reach us at 760-692-5700. That's 760-692-5700. And thank you for joining us today and getting savvy about your finances. And remember to savvy up. Please stay tuned for important regulatory disclosures.
Savvy Women Wealth Management is an SEC registered investment advisor. The opinions expressed in this program are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security. It is only intended to provide education about the financial industry and how we may be able to assist. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult your financial advisor prior to investing. Any past performance discussed during this program is no guarantee of future results. As always, please remember investing involves risk and possible loss of principal capital. Tax considerations presented may not be appropriate for every individual circumstance. A tax professional should be consulted before making any decisions about your tax liability.